Hey guys, it's Katie. I'm super sad because I filmed an entire video of me reorganizing this bookshelf for you guys, and somewhere I deleted the video file. I don't know where it went, so I'm pretty sad. But maybe I'll do a bookshelf tour to make up for it, because I don't want to reorganize it again. But anyway, today's video is going to be a book review on The Merciless by Danielle Vega. I really enjoyed this book, and I kind of wanted to talk about it with you guys, so if you've also read this book, then you can keep watching. If you have not read this book yet, I don't recommend that you watch this video just because it's going to be full of spoilers, so I don't want to spoil you guys because this book was amazing going in not knowing anything. So don't watch this video if you have not read it. Yeah, if you're one of those people who watch this anyway and are going to be spoiled, shame on you. Read the book. Don't be lazy. Watching you. Okay. Jesus. I'm putting my phone on silent. I hate when people text me when I'm trying to film. But anyway, let's jump into this book talk for this book because I really enjoyed it. It was super creepy. So I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a little synopsis of this book. So basically, the story revolves around this girl, Sophia. She's new to town, I think she's new, yeah, she's new to town. She just moved to the city. She started a new school, and, you know, she's having trouble fitting in. So she, meets this group of girls, Riley, Grace, forgot the other girl's name. I don't know. She meets these group of, 3 girls, and they're, the popular, cliquey people at the school, and, you know, she talks to this girl named Brooklyn, who's kind of an outcast. She's very, dark clothes, kind of like your stereotypical goth girl, who's kind of, hard, and she's just, you know, she's a bad girl. She talks to her for a second, and then, Riley and this group of girls approach her, and they're just like, hey, why are you talking to her? She's weird. And, so somehow she, so she ends up befriending these girls, I guess, because she kind of wants to fit in. She didn't have a lot of friends at her other school, so she's just like, I'll take whoever's talking to me. You know, these girls are popular, why not? It starts off it's very popular kind of girl story at first. Yeah, the thing is, but what's different about this book is, these girls are popular, but they're, super religious. They're, praise God. They're, super, super religious girls, and, you know, they mention that Brooklyn's evil, don't trust her, don't talk to her, and Sophia's just what? But, anyway, one thing leads to another, and, Sophia's hanging out more with these girls. Eventually, they ask her to, stalk Brooklyn a little bit to, see what she's up to, so, you know, she goes over to Brooklyn's place, talks to her a bit, and, gets to know a little bit more about Riley and her gang of girls, and everything's a little bit weird because, you know, she doesn't know if she should trust Riley, she doesn't know if she should trust Brooklyn because Brooklyn's kind of bad. But anyway, one thing leads to another, and eventually they end up going to this house. Riley invites Sophia over to this abandoned house to go have a sleepover or whatever she thinks she's going to do, and she gets there, and this is where things really take a creepy little turn. So they have Brooklyn tied up in the basement because they're going to perform an exorcism on her because they think she's possessed by the devil, because there was a part where they were at a house party, and Sophia saw Brooklyn with Riley's boyfriend cheating, so she felt obligated to tell Riley, and, you know, now they're at this house and they're doing this exorcism on her. And, it's not a normal exorcism. I don't know where these girls got their ideas of how to exorcise someone, but, they're oh, we don't need a priest, we can do it ourselves. It's really creepy. There was also some kind of, really creepy things, sprinkled in the beginning. They baptized Sophia so she could be a part of their group, and they held her underwater for a little too long, and she almost drowned. So, there's a lot of creepy things, sprinkled in the beginning, but once they get to this house, things get so dark, guys. It is so creepy. They physically start just abusing Brooklyn because they think she's a demon, and they start cutting her, ripping off her fingernails, like doing all these really gross, creepy things to her while she's like tied up in the basement. And like Sophia's just like standing here. She's like, what the heck are you guys doing? She's like super creeped out because she's never seen this before, and she's like, what? This is not, these guys are like demented. And like when you're reading it, like you really think Riley is like cuckoo and like Brooklyn's just innocent. But just wait. Just you wait, guys. But yeah, it's really dark, and like eventually Sophia starts like, I need to get out of this house, I need to get out of here. She tries to find a plan to like get out, but like Riley stops her, catches her, and like all the doors are locked, all the windows are boarded up, no one's getting out of this house alive. And like it's really dark. But like Sophia tries to help Brooklyn because she feels bad for her, and eventually they do get out, but like they can't get out of the house because like all the doors are boarded up and locked. And somehow they end up going to the attic, because I forgot what happened in the basement, but like anyway, they eventually end up going to the attic and continuing their little exorcism there. And like by this point, I don't think Riley really trusts Sophia much anymore, but like a lot of creepy stuff starts going down all of a sudden. Like these girls are all getting drunk, drinking wine because like it's holy or whatever, and like Riley's just gone full out crazy, and she's literally almost basically killing Brooklyn, and she's like out to get everybody else. And one of the girls, I forgot the name of, she like ended up dying, getting pushed out the window and dying, and like no one even cares. Like what? So like Grace and Riley and Sophia are left in this house with Brooklyn, and like eventually they start thinking that like Sophia's crazy too, because Sophia's trying to like steal these pills out of their backpack to like poison Riley so they can get the heck out of there, because Riley's just like a crazy murderer even though she thinks that she's doing good, you know? So like she ends up trying to get these pills out of her bag, and she slips it into the wine. Grace helps her a little bit because Grace is like, Riley's cuckoo, we need to get out of here too. Like everyone just wants to get out of here because it's gone too far. They're like literally like, Brooklyn's like bleeding to death by now. So like she slips the stuff into the wine and tries to give it to Riley, and then Riley's like a little bit suspicious because she's like, what'd you put in my drink? And like she gets all mad at Grace. And she ends up tying up, or not, she doesn't get mad at Grace, she gets mad at Sophia, and she ends up tying up Sophia as well. And then there's just like a lot more creepy stuff that goes down. I don't quite remember because it's been a while since I've read this, but like a lot more stuff goes down, and eventually she ends up locking Brooklyn and Sophia in the attic while she goes take care of stuff. And you know, Brooklyn and Sophia are trying to help each other because they're like, we need to get out of here, we can't just stay in this attic and starve to death. And Brooklyn, like, this is where things get really weird. Like, Brooklyn ends up knocking over a candle with her mind. Like, she stomps on the floor and the candle falls over, and it's all a little fishy. And then basically the house, like, starts burning. So of course Riley and Grace, like, escape, and then Brooklyn and Sophia are like trying to cut their cords and ropes off their hands, and they do eventually escape as well. Sophia goes home and she's like literally scared to death because of all the torture that like Riley put her through. The end of this book, oh my goodness, it took such a turn, like I don't even know. Now this is like completely spoilery, so if you don't want to know what happens at the end, go away, please. But this is insane. Like literally, she gets home, she's like, you know, a little like suffering PTSD, I guess. She's a little scared because she's like, Riley's insane, we need to put Riley away, Riley needs to like go away, go to prison. But then she like goes outside because she hears like a weird noise, and Grace is literally skinned, hanging from a tree dead. Like, what? And like, she finds out that Brooklyn is actually a demon. Like, what? And then she ends up going to like Riley's house to make sure Riley's okay, make sure Brooklyn didn't get hurt yet. And like literally all this weird like ghosty stuff is happening at Riley's house. Like there's swarms of bugs, and like she can't find Riley anywhere. And then she ends up going to some like lake house or something, and like, I think Riley's there, but Riley ends up dying too. Like, Brooklyn kills Riley. Like, she literally, like, pins her to the wall and, like, kills her. And, like, my emotions were just all over the place because, like, this whole time I thought Riley was a cuckoo and Brooklyn was fine and they were just torturing Brooklyn for no reason. But no! Riley was right the whole time and Brooklyn's a crazy pants, like, possessed by the devil or some crap. Like, what? Like, it was so crazy. I was just like, what am I reading? Like, it was insane. And then, like, at the end, it was like the demon left Brooklyn and went into Sophia because, like, they're like, your party was, like, evil. She tried to help Brooklyn in the home and now she has part demon in her. So I'm really excited to read, like, the second book and the third book of this series because this was crazy. Like, it took me for a ride. Like, it started out kind of, like, lighthearted, like, Mean Girl-esque, with a little bit of, like, horror sprinkled in here. Kind of reminded me of, like, Mara Dyer, where it was, like, you know, kind of funny, kind of lighthearted, with little sprinkles of creepy stuff, like, in there. But then, man, as soon as they got into that house, things got pretty grotesque. Like, this was a very, very graphic book, and you wouldn't think it's very graphic, because, like, look, it's bright pink. I mean, other than the fact that there's, like, a pentagram right here, like, you wouldn't think anything of it. But, oh my goodness, this book was so, like, graphic. Like, I've read Stephen King, and he has kind of, like, a lot of graphic, kind of grotesque descriptions, and, like, so did this. Like, this was crazy. But I really enjoyed this book. I would definitely recommend it. It was very, very creepy, so, like, if you're into, like, scary kind of stories, definitely pick this up. But if you have a weak stomach, I would maybe stay away from it because it is really, really gross, really descriptive. Like, they're ripping off her fingernails and there's, like, a lot of gross words in there. But it was a good book, kind of scary, very gross. I mean, it wasn't like super scary. Like, I'm not scared by books that often, but it was very graphic, very grotesque. Like, I was reading this and I was just like, ew, what the heck? But it's a really quick read. It's very short. I read it super quick, but I did really enjoy this, and I'm definitely going to be picking up the other books in this series. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I hope this review was helpful. If you guys have read this book, comment down below. Let's start a discussion. We can talk about it. Just don't mention anything about the second or third books. I have not read those yet. But if you do want to discuss this book right here, let's start a discussion in the comments down below. But yeah, also, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified when I upload. But that's about it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what other books you want to see me review, and I'll be sure to take that into consideration when filming another review. Thanks, guys. Bye!